is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. One of the most important topics of our time in regard to Indian football continues to be the future of the Indian Super League. The first question being, will the ISL season 2025-2026 be played at all? And the second then being, does the ISL have a future at all? And in my regular lives, even in my watch-alongs, the biggest question is about the future of the ISL. Is there any update? Is a question that I get asked again and again. Not only there, I get it asked on my social medias, even private messages via WhatsApp come in. And I have to be honest enough to all of you who ask me this question. And the simple answer is that I do not have an answer to that at the moment. And I am not the only one. I think there is nobody in the whole world who can tell you, first, will there be a 2025-2026 season? And B, will there be an ISL in the future or not? Or do we get a new top-tier league in Indian football? But I thought I'd give you a few updates generally on where we stand, what is happening or rather not happening in the background, and how are people reacting in the system. I do interact with people on and off, and interestingly, certain people have gotten in touch over the last few days. Some have even asked for help, advice on, what can be done, should be done. And the issue here at the moment on hand is that the Supreme Court of India, who stopped the process of the AIFF having talks with FSDL in regard to extending the original contract, putting out the tender, now is in the situation is like, I think the Supreme Court was surprised that nobody actually picked up the tender document. And they then got the Government of India involved. The Government of India over the last few days have had different priorities because India was preparing and wanting to win the bid to host the Commonwealth Games 2030. India won it. And hopefully the top officials from the sports ministry will be back in the coming days, can push the matter of Indian football into the right direction. The clubs are supposed to meet, or at least either physically or online, with key government officials in the coming days, most likely early next week. And then the government has to go back to the Supreme Court and say, listen, we've been able to help or we've not been able to help with the ISL. There are hopes amongst fans that, maybe the Government of India can help and can, give Indian football some money to run the ISL. Others are saying, hey, listen, can't the government convince a corporate to put in the money? And then, of course, there is this, hey, listen, can't they speak with Reliance and say, Reliance, can't you continue at least for this year and then let's see what happens for next year? And I think that is the biggest problem that I've seen over the last few days and weeks, that certain people are talking about, we need a solution now. And we need a short-term solution. No, we don't. We need to sort this out for once and for all, that what is going to happen today, tomorrow, and day after, meaning short, mid, long term. That's the only solution, because if we have a short gap arrangement, we could find ourselves in this situation again next summer. That's happened, especially to the I-League a number of times over the last few years, right? You're trying to get from one season to another. We need a solution now. Either we say, yes, the ISL can happen, and we have a new or an old commercial partner to run and organize the league, or, which is the hardest step, but maybe we're getting to that point of no return, that there is no ISL in the 2025-2026 season. Maybe not only that, maybe even there is no I-League. Both of that is a realistic option. And the interesting part is, The AIFF is the AIFF. The government of India is the government of India, and the Supreme Court is the Supreme Court. But ISL clubs, I-League clubs, it seems like a lot of clubs are fighting their own little battles, their own interest above the interest of everybody else. Guys, you need to come together. You need to work together. Because if you don't work together, there is no league to play for you. And this is something which I still don't understand, that there are certain elements within ISL clubs, within I-League clubs, who are fighting, as I say, their own battles. On the field, you're all opponents. But when it's a matter of the league, or even let's call it the leagues, you have to work together. Otherwise, Indian club football is heading for an implosion. And what the end result out of this will be, I do not know, you do not know, they do not know. We are in a very, very dangerous, we are in a very precarious situation. And don't be carried away by people saying, oh, things are being worked out and things are happening. No, things are not happening. And we are losing second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, days for days. We need something. And that something at the moment is not happening. And that is my concern at the moment. What did I say to you? Agree with me, disagree with me? If you've got anything else to add, or maybe a different viewpoint to add, write it down below. And as always, like, share and subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias, visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very soon. So Arunava Chaudhuri signing off. Bye for now.